Welcome back to Laughs After Loss, where we will definitely laugh. We might cry. Who knows? We will do both. I'm Emma.
I'm Robin.
And we are joined here today by somebody so amazing. You might know her from walking your favorite celebrities on a leash to raise awareness for ALS. She is a recent inductee of the Dead Moms Club. She is self-proclaimed God's punching bag. Please welcome to the pod, Erin Tatum.
Yay.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to curse you with my presence.
We're so excited.
Me too. I can't wait to meet you. I love people who laugh through death.
And that's exactly what we do.
Yes.
I don't have a choice, right?
Well, because I feel like the people you love are dead, but you're still alive. So are you going to be miserable over them when they're not here, when you still have however much time you have to while away? So
I always say it's our gift, that life's a gift. I still have mine. My husband, Mark, doesn't. My mom and dad don't, but I still do. And you still do. Patti, I can't wait to talk about Patti because she was a gift in herself, right?
Yeah, she was one of a kind, and I, as my primary henchman, I put her through many weird experiences. So.
Now, speaking of primary henchmen, how you were telling us a little bit how you got started posting online. Do you mind telling everybody else how this all got going?
Yeah, so the last year of my life has been really unhinged. What I've been saying is it's been the worst and weirdest year of my life. I never really expected anything to happen with social media. I only started posting because I knew how fast ALS progressed because my mom's best friend Amy also was unfortunately diagnosed with it about 20 years before. So I know how quickly it moves, and my mom was my primary caregiver, and I need lifting transfers and all that. So obviously I saw the writing on the wall, but all of the traditional places to find caregivers weren't working. So I was literally crying myself to sleep because I was like, what are we gonna do? And like, it's just my dad, and he's 76, and now there's two of us, and like, what the heck? So I had a friend who had a decent following on TikTok. So I said, if I post a caregiving ad for myself, will you repost? And she did. And to everybody's credit, I got like 200 responses.
200?
That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
That is
Yeah.
insane. Did the 200 people, they knew that they were signing up, they wanted to all be your caregiver?
Yeah.
Hot commodity.
And how did you narrow that down?
Well, also, they came from TikTok, but the main con is they're also from TikTok. So a lot of them ghosted, and a lot of it was like 20-year-olds being like, "Well, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, so I guess I'll take care of you." And I was like, "We might need a little more structure."
Any weird ones?
I still get a lot of men who are like, "Can I take care of you, and will you also have sex with me? You don't even have to pay me, just have sex
You don't
with
even
me."
have to pay me?
And I've been like, no. Like, I was like, first of all,
You'd rather pay
Yeah.
yeah, I was like,
with money.
Yeah.
in any universe, no, but like, nothing makes you less horny than your family member dying. So I was like, this is literally the worst time you could make that overture to me, because it turns out your mom dying really kills your libido.
I think it does, but wasn't it in Wedding Crashers? They end up at the end of the movie like going to pick up widows at funerals.
Yes. I just watched it again recently.
They're like,
and I
"Oh,
love that
people
part.
at funerals are always horny."
Yeah.
I don't get that. For me, it's the opposite. Like, I've never thought about dating or hooking up less in my life than I have this past year, because I was like, okay, everything is like imploding. I feel like sex was my lowest priority.
Yeah.
And
other
I was
things
going
are
to
important.
ask you if we could play matchmaker for you.
Ooh, with who?
With any, we want to hear like your top qualities you're looking for, your ideal person, and we'll see if we can rack our brain.
My ideal person is honestly mostly anyone who's into me, but recently, and this is a big swing, but I have to go out there on a limb and put myself out there for Meg the Stallion, because
She's recently single.
I know her man had the audacity to cheat on her. And I think they were only together for like a year. And it's like, how could you get bored with Megan?
That is exactly what I said.
I know, right?
That is exactly what I said. I literally said to my boyfriend, like, how could you want to cheat on Megan the Stallion? And he was like, well, like, yeah, he wanted to have sex with other people. Like, I get that. I was like, no, you don't get that.
Yeah, why does he
Why
get that?
why do you get that?
I might be creating a little rift in your relationship.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is the first I'm hearing of that.
I know. That was a private conversation.
I guess so.
I guess, do men think about having sex with everyone all the time?
You
I
know,
guess
and
you
we're
must.
I don't know. Do
I
they?
don't know.
Yeah.
Do they? But I guess kind of, because didn't we pose that question to Sam? I thought we did.
Yeah, we usually have Sam here, and he'll usually answer all of our man questions.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think
I think yes.
I think yes. But if they become in a committed relationship, I think
also yes.
probably yes, but maybe some of them who want to stay in that relationship stay committed. Do you think?
Apparently not, because if you're not willing to go monogamous from
Megan the Stallion.
Then there's no hope for any of us.
I know, like,
mean, we might as well just give it up now.
like, why? Which I
Don't get
understand,
married,
but, like,
Emma.
But like, no, I literally told my mom while she was dying, I was like, "Don't worry, you're never missing my wedding because I'm never getting married because I want them to be able to get away from me." You know, like, you never know how people are gonna change. And my worst nightmare is to be like legally. And I remember when I came out as bi, I was like, oh, I found the cheat code because, like, I won't marry a man. I'll marry a woman and I'll save myself headaches. And as bisexuals know, it takes about 5 minutes for you to realize that everyone of every gender identity is so fucking weird.
It's not just the men.
Yeah, and, like, I don't want to be legally bound to everyone. That was one of the first things that made me sad when my mom got sick, other than her dying, is just like, oh, she won't get to meet my partner. But by the time she was on hospice, I was like, I can't tolerate one more motherfucker in this
You're like, I ain't
fucking
having a
house."
partner.
I was like, no partner ever. I just want to be, like, alone, because you can make all your own decisions.
And you're really not alone. I mean, you have
Yeah.
all your friends on TikTok. I mean,
Yeah.
really. And then we meet in person and you form all these new friendships.
And your Achilles heel was admitting to me that we're within driving distance. Because now I will never
Now
leave
you
you
know.
alone.
Well, Erin, we usually like to start the podcast with how we started grief groups. We were in grief groups for so many years. So many years we got kicked out. And they would make us every time say our name and who we lost or what we lost, and a pearl and an onion, a good thing and a bad thing. So I'm going to let you take the floor here.
Can I just say, how do you get kicked out of grief groups?
Oh, we were in it for so long.
What were you guys doing?
I think we were
Well, it was-
making it more of a social group
Yeah,
than a
because we
sadness
were there
group.
10 years and they
We
needed.
were not there for 10 years.
I was there 10 years. No, I was there 10 years.
Oh, you've actually officially got kicked out.
Yeah, so
I got suggested
the
to leave.
parents group, which was
Oh.
all Emma's friends in group, was in my group. And they said, you've been here long enough. We need to make room for other people. We were just shocked. It was right at Abington Hospital, was where my grief group was. And we are still in grief group to this day, but now it's social. I just had dinner with them like 2 weeks ago. And we see each other at the holidays, and everyone's has a significant other. Some are getting married, some have gotten married.
But that's how you get kicked out is
yeah,
you overstay
just
your
stay
welcome.
too long.
Can you graduate from grief? I thought the whole point of grief is that you carry it with you until you die yourself.
So the grief group graduation process is really cool. So they give us rocks.
Yeah.
So it was like a tough rock for when you first got there, and then you have a rock that they give you to take with you forever that is like a little bit smoother, so shows you've healed, but it still has all of those grooves, and that grief is a for life kind of thing.
And in your case, at the end, they gave you a rock and told you to kick it
Yeah.
because they wanted you to get the hell out.
Yeah, because we were just there too long.
That
But
is
I
funny.
think
That's the thing.
as
They
you
gave us
go
was
on your
rocks.
journey of grief, it's going to change. And you have so many great distractions. I always found that having a lot of distractions really helped me deal with it. And you have a lot of distractions with, everyone you're walking on a leash and all your TikTok friends. And, you've become famous. And it's really exciting, right?
Yeah, I always say I wish I could become famous without my mom dying, but as it
Yeah, we
turns
get
out,
that.
they kind of go part and parcel, I guess. Sorry, mom. But yeah, it was interesting because she was very much a stoic. I think especially because watching her best friend die of ALS, it was very traumatic for her. So after she got diagnosed, she was very adamant that she did not want to be in any support group. She was in contact
Mm.
with Team Gleason, which was great. They helped her voice bank, which is when they prepare you for losing your voice, so you record a bunch of stock phrases so that you can say them when you lose your voice. But unfortunately for her, her voice and her hands basically went at the same time. So it was like we had to kind of figure that out because it was like, well, you can't press the computer. So it was such a catch-22, but she and I have very different approaches to grief. Was that she decided unless it was like a medical conversation, we weren't allowed to say ALS. And
Mm.
we just had to be fun and have fun interactions and
I like that.
really kind of focus on the other aspects of life. Whereas I'm very different, and as soon as she died, I was like, holy shit, how many people can I possibly talk to about this? Because prior, my world was essentially me and my mom. Like she's my dad is also still in the picture and still alive, by the way.
Yeah.
He's a dad.
He's just kind of an accessory. But my mom was my primary caregiver from the time that I was born. And I mean, she still worked. She was a full-time teacher for 36 years. But when she wasn't working, she was always taking care of me. And especially since I graduated college, um, it's basically been me and her every single day. So it's a really big shift now trying to navigate, um, just potentially being around without her for decades is really hard.
Well, I know. And
That's
I
a
don't
scary
think,
thought.
yes, and I don't think you should think in decades. I think you should think in days. I mean,
Yeah.
like today, live it at the moment
Yeah.
because, you are going to have a wonderful life and you are having a wonderful life. And
Yeah.
Patti wants you to have this life and she wants you to be happy. And that's what
And it
we
doesn't
hang
make it
on
any
to.
better.
No,
but
well, I think it does, but maybe I think it does because I drummed it into you all the time. Your dad wants you to be happy. He's happy you
I'm
graduated.
like, I'm sure he does, but this still fucking sucks.
I feel like, I feel I know that she would obviously want me to be happy. But it's just hard because
I know.
we were such I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
make you
that's
cry.
No, that's
okay. That's
okay.
okay.
It was just, we were such a duo every single day, and it's not that I'm afraid of life without her. It's just that life without her feels so much colder,
And it
Absolutely.
is.
and you just have to come up with different support systems and
Well,
different
don't you think
ways of life.
your work of keeping attention on ALS is something that's really going to be gratifying and probably already is? Can we
Yeah.
talk a little bit about your leash and how you do that?
Yeah, so basically, like any good child of a terminally ill parent, I immediately looked at this and thought, how can I make this all about me? So, really, and sort of what I've had to contend with again with my mom's death is, when you're disabled, I like to say, when you're disabled, you have a lot of free time before time finally kills you. So, so it's like you just have a lot of free time, and sometimes you feel like you're not really doing anything. And also, I didn't realize that even though I'm an adult, you get treated as a child for the rest of your life. So I was like, what's a way to make fun of that inherent ableism? So then I made my video about wanting to walk Jacob Elordi on a leash, and it got 4 million likes. So I thought, the people yearn for leashes.
And then Euphoria copied you.
Yeah.
By putting Cassie on a leash.
Also, Jacob Elordi has walked he walked somebody on a leash in Wuthering Heights too. It's not Margot Robbie, apparently. It's the other.
He's begging for it.
Yeah, I was like, Jacob, why must you edge me like this? Clearly, this is going to happen.
Knows.
It's just the inevitable. So basically, I was like, well, being treated as a kid forever sucks. So what's a way to circumvent that? And I was like, becoming a dominatrix for charity. So that's how Unleash ALS was birthed.
That's
love
awesome.
that.
Has anybody wanted you to actually be a dominatrix for them?
Oh yeah, a lot of, since I started posting, I put my email in my bio, regrettably, in case any real opportunities come, but it's all just really horny people being like, will you dom me? And I'm just
Oh my God.
I've just been
You're like, can I bring my caregiver?
No, but that's true. That's a joke, because if you're both disabled and you try to have sex, you need caregivers to reposition you. So that's actually a joke within the community, is that you always need other people there.
I guess that's true.
I don't know who I would tag in for that though. You have to
That'd be a
really
weird TikTok
close.
request.
Yeah. Oh yeah, don't do that one.
I wouldn't post that on TikTok. But there are
Maybe Craigslist.
But there are people. They have they're not intimacy coordinators. I don't know what they're called, but there are specific people in the community whose entire job is to help disabled people have sex.
That's
which
awesome.
I think is really interesting.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
So you're so funny. Have you ever thought about doing stand-up?
I always say, of course, the person who would do the best stand-up can't actually stand up. so that's the joke I have to get out of the way right off the bat. But my friend Tina Fremel, who's a comedian who also has cerebral palsy, a couple weeks ago she was in Philly and she let me do 8 minutes of stand-up and close for her.
Oh, that's awesome. How'd it go?
So that was my first time on stage. I think I took the house down. I got a lot of good laughs, which was good because I didn't prepare anything. I just ad-libbed, which was probably not the best idea. But I got laughs after every line, so I think I was decent.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Do you think you'll do it again?
Yeah, if I have another opportunity.
Yeah. You should
you
keep making opportunities.
You could go to open mics.
That's true. I could go to open mics. I'm sure there are plenty in Philly and New York, too.
Oh yeah. Lots, right, Em?
Yeah, for sure.
We tried stand-up once.
How'd that go?
Twice. Well, the first time we were good. The second time I was awful.
Yeah, we tried doing it together, which was, we have two very different styles and ways of approaching things. I think individually on stage, we would both be good. I used to do stand-up, and I loved it.
And then, she was wonderful.
And then getting up and doing it together, it was okay. Because online, I kind of play the straight man for my mom, right? I'm like, what, Mom? What are you doing? And so on stage, it was okay, feed the setup, Mom, punchline.
See, for me, it's tricky too because I have a very limited lung capacity, so I also had to engineer jokes around how much oxygen I had in my lungs, and then if I would get tired before the punchline, I'd be like, okay, we're skipping to the punchline, but it still worked.
That's
all right. Now laugh so you can give me a minute to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I need applause breaks to breathe in the middle. So that's why I've never done traditional stand-up because when I talk, it has to be conversationally like this so I can have breaks. Because otherwise I would just get, I still am sweating so much right now.
Well, you can't tell. We don't see it.
Good.
I feel like I'm sweating right now too.
I know I am. I'm afraid to show my
I'm just
armpits.
I'm just gonna keep my shirt away from my armpits.
Yeah,
I already have a stain on this shirt today, and I knew it going into today that this shirt had a stain.
So let's just tell the truth. You just wore it on purpose.
I wore it because I thought I would be on the other side of the table, and then by the time I put it on, I was like, no, I'm not gonna be on the other side of the table. Everybody's gonna see my stain. I don't know if it's mustard or what, but it's there. It's there.
This morning, my caregiver was helping me get dressed, and I was like, grab a dress. I want to wear something nice. I want to look nice for them. And she goes, why? They're going to be in T-shirts. And I was like, because you have to make a good impression.
I have a new top for you. This is brand new.
This is brand new. It literally looks like your other one.
No,
don't you have a white shirt that looks exactly like
but
this?
Not yellow.
And a black one that is this exact same shirt?
Not the exact same shirt.
My mom did the exact same thing. She would buy shirts she liked in every different color.
See, that's smart.
Have like 5 of the same shirt.
And that's smart.
Yeah.
Because when you find a shirt that looks good on you and you love, you want to wear it a lot. And, sometimes you have to, clean it or something.
Yeah.
So you need the backups.
Yeah, are you going to clean this for me?
Yes.
Looks like a pretty deep stain.
Yes. So I heard that you and I have something else in common that we love.
Oh, what?
90 Day Fiancé.
Do
you love 90 Day Fiancé?
You have to watch 90 Day Fiancé with me now because
now you're signed up for it.
No, because my mom and I used to watch Pillow Talk before.
Yes, Pillow Talk.
The 90 days. They have like 18 spinoffs, and my mom and I would watch every single one.
Now, you go on your tangents online, and I absolutely love it. Can I ask, what is like your most unhinged thought of this week or recently that you've had?
This week is hard to narrow down, but honestly, it's about...
Give me 3.
It's about Unleash ALS. My main unhinged thought of the week is I really want to get to Jason Kelsey. He's on my list. I feel like he would do it for
yes,
sure.
absolutely.
Well, yeah, and he's local.
Yeah, he does a lot of charity stuff. He's super local. My mom was obsessed with him and Kylie, so I feel like it's really serendipitous. It's meant to happen.
It will.
It's just inevitable.
Do you want to make your plea to Jason Kelsey right now?
Jason, I promise I'm the world's best dog walker. I know I don't look like it because I don't walk, but trust me, it's a mentality, and we can make this happen. Go Birds!
Go Birds! What's the weirdest thing anyone's ever said to you?
Since my mom died, or in general?
Ooh, let's do one in general, and then since your mom died. I like a before death, after death. I call everything like, BDAD.
I've been calling everything that's happened to me since February 1st my post-Patti era.
I like that.
I like that.
But before, overall, it was just people talking to my mom like I wasn't there. So people would be like, oh, you're such a good person. Like, it takes such a special person to love her, and you sacrifice so much. Or they would come up to her and ask her if I could talk. When it's like, in reality, the protocol should just be you ask the person.
You're like, yeah, bitch.
I know, people are also way too bold with what they're comfortable with asking. Like, a lot of people are obsessed with whether or not I'm like cognitively okay because I look with this, but I feel like even if the answer is no, you should still treat someone with dignity, like regardless of any cognitive issues or differences that anyone might have. So it's like a weird litmus test to like prove you're worthy as a disabled person by being like, oh, I look disabled, but essentially what they're prompting you to do is say, but I'm not mentally disabled, which is not cool at all because the mentally disabled community is equally rad and they deserve just as much respect. So people need to become less comfortable with asking intrusive questions in public. And that's what I thought was unfortunate, too, because towards the end, my mom had a lot of trouble speaking just because the ALS was bulbar onset, so it went for her throat first.
Oh.
So towards the end, she had trouble speaking above a whisper, but it frustrated me because the doctors thought she wasn't cognitively there, so they stopped talking to her and asking her questions, and my sister was like, "No, like she she can still hear you. It's just that she can't speak as well."
And
Yeah.
I think
Um,
they should know that by now because even I know that, people can still, even though they can't verbalize it, they
yeah,
understand what's going
yeah,
on.
yeah. And again, even if they don't understand, there are less dickish ways to
That's right.
contend with that, or approach it more respectfully, or figure out figure out who's helping them understand the situation,
Yeah.
or things
Don't
like
be a
that.
dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But definitely the most unhinged thing since my mom died is I had very, very dear friends. If you're watching this, sorry. But but they came over after my mom was diagnosed, which my mom always hated because it was like the anticipatory grief visit, and she spent a lot of time like comforting other people while they cried about her being terminally ill. And like I understand because it was shocking, but at the same time, I feel like especially when you know your time is limited with someone, you want to do other like happier things and
Yes.
cry on your own time, perhaps. Um, but anyway,
Keep it to yourself.
so they were there, and I, I forget which plane it was, but a plane had just crashed. Where it was only that one guy survived, and everybody else died. So I was
Oh, I
obviously
remember that
I do
one.
too.
yeah, I was. It was sometime later last year,
Yeah.
so I remember that, and I was crying about my mom being terminally ill because like with everyone, I had hoped that she would live like into her 80s.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I thought she would be immortal. It was just that I was hoping we had more time.
Of
Absolutely.
course.
So I was crying about the time getting cut off. And my friend looks at me and she goes, "What could be worse? Like you could have no time to prepare. Like she could have been in that plane crash." And I looked at her and I was like,
Oh.
"So is this the standard of comparison now?" I was like, "Well, now I just feel worse." But I love when people try to counter a shitty situation by being like a weird tragedy pissing contest and being like, "Well, it could be this outcome that would suck even worse." And it's
Right.
like that's not helpful at
Could
all.
be a plane crash. Oh.
Yeah, so she was trying to comfort me by saying like at least you can prep for her dying, and I was like, it still feels awful.
It's still death.
Like,
It
yeah.
is.
Like I understand the differences, and I am really grateful. My mom unfortunately only got about 8.5 months after diagnosis, but I am still really grateful for that time because for most of it, she was managing okay.
But
Um
that's not a lot of time, really.
and usually the average for ALS is 2 to 5 years. And her friend Amy made it for 3 before she got on life support. So um mom didn't want to go the life support route just after watching Amy.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I was really hopeful that we would have, and I wasn't naive. So Amy was 50 when they were diagnosed, and my mom was 69. So the older you are, the faster it
Mm.
tends to
Oh.
go. But I was still hopeful that we would maybe get, I don't know, like 18 months or somewhere around there, just a little bit more time. 8 months was really fast, and it got to the point where she couldn't, she was having trouble swallowing.
Mm.
So she had lost a lot of weight because she couldn't eat. And then my sister got her admitted to the hospital because on the day of her last clinic, which is every 3 months, I don't know why they do this to the poor people, but they make you go for like 7 hours of clinic where you see like every single specialist, like the respiratory therapist and the nutritionist and the physical therapist and every specialist. So basically, they can see how much you've declined. Um, I knew something was wrong that morning because she was struggling to breathe and I was worried. But I thought it's okay because my sister, she went to med school.
Oh.
So I thought she'll know what to do. So she saw my mom and she was like, something's wrong. So they admitted her to the ICU, and it was just the ALS had taken so much of her motor neurons in her throat and her lungs that she couldn't breathe independently anymore. So they said she was gonna have to go on the vent. But the problem is with the vent, you need somebody staring at you 24/7 to make sure it doesn't, or at least that's how my mom understood it. I shouldn't say that because I have other friends on vents and I know the experience is different, but I should say that my mom was worried that that's what it would mean having people stare at her. So she opted not to go on the vent and they thought she was going to die at the hospital, but my mom was like, "No, I don't want to die at the hospital." So they made her sign a DNR to go home on the ambulance because I guess they were convinced that she wouldn't make it, but she made it and she lasted for 13 days on hospice.
Wow,
So,
that's
so
great.
she did a pretty good job. And like my neighbor who was a caterer, it was really nice. I told her that my mom couldn't chew, so she blended my mom's favorite dinner and desserts. So
Oh,
those were some of the last meals she ate, which I thought was really kind
That's a really
and
nice thing to
really
thoughtful.
do.
kind.
Yeah. And um so when she got home from the hospital, we didn't know how she was going to wake us up because her voice was too soft to wake us up anymore because she
Mm.
could only whisper. So as a joke for Christmas, because I was already having a crisis at Christmas because I naively was freaking out thinking, "Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, what if this is the last Christmas?" Not knowing that she would be dead like 5 weeks later. Um so as a joke to try
So
to
you weren't wrong.
cheer me up, I know. No, have you ever had an existential breakdown in the bathroom? But meanwhile, my nephew is like a prodigal pianist, so he was out there playing the Mario Kart theme song on the keyboard while I was sobbing in the bathroom, and I was like, "This is really tonal
You're like,
dissonance."
this is a great soundtrack to what's going on right now.
It was just like Mario Kart blaring on the keyboard while I was like actually wanting to die on the floor of the bathroom. I so to try to cheer me up, my sister got me a sad trombone because my niece and nephew thought it was hilarious to pull. So anyway, long story short, the only thing we had for her to wake us up was the sad trombone. So when we woke up on the first morning of hospice, she pulled the sad trombone and it went wah wah wah. And she said, "Good morning." So even on hospice, she was still joking around.
I was just gonna ask. I hate this question, but I have to ask. How do you keep your sense of humor when all of this is going on in your life?
Yeah. Well, in a way, it was harder when she was still alive because I wanted to be very respectful of her and, like, operate how she wanted her final wishes in her life to end. Like, even early on, b- before she was that progressed, I thought it would be funny if the two of us would make a TikTok about how our primary app was a bottle because neither of us could open bottles anymore. And I thought of little funny skits like that. She wanted nothing to do
I
with
was
that.
just gonna
And I
ask if she had that
uh,
same sense of humor as you.
a little bit. Even like towards the end, I was struggling because my sister had to pick her up and take care of her. So I did cry to her, and I was upset because I said, "What kind of piece of shit daughter am I that I can't help you when you need it? And
Oh.
you've taken care of me my whole life." And then she just looked at me and she laughed and said, "But you can help me readjust the remote." And I said, "Yeah, I guess that's true." So she tried to keep it positive. And I was also crying when I thought she was losing her voice because, again, I thought she would be, for like the last stretch, people become nonverbal.
Yeah.
So I thought we were going for that, not knowing that she would die before that even happened. But I looked at her crying and I was like, "You're losing your voice, and how am I going to talk to you?" And she looked at me and said, "Oh, because I have so many words of wisdom," and just started making fun of me. So even though I know she was scared and obviously not happy about dying, she did her best to make it funny up until the end. So now after she died, I tried to carry that sense of humor into the future. Into the future.
And you have. You've
Yeah.
made so many people happy with all your stuff online, all your
Yeah.
shenanigans, and all your words of wisdom.
And
Wouldn't you say, Emma?
Yeah, lots of pearls of wisdom.
Yes.
I but to answer, I totally went off killed her with the pearl and the onion.
Yeah, we got a pearl in the onion. What happened to that? Emma, you're supposed to be keeping us on track here.
Our intro.
Yeah, come on. Pearl and onion. Do you
our
have
intro
one?
that's like, our intro or outro.
And then we got to do Patty's favorites.
Of course.
The onion, obviously beyond the obvious dead mom, the onion is obviously the fact that I can't keep myself alive, and so I feel like God was already playing chicken with my mom by almost killing me, and she said, because I was born 3.5 months early,
Wow.
so she said she used to stand with me in the NICU and yell, "Don't you die on me," through the incubator. And
Yeah, it worked.
It worked. You heard her.
And I always tease her and I say, "How do you feel about that now?" Because I live, but at what cost? Like when she was really annoyed with me or something. So the onion is definitely like not being able to maintain my own life and just sort of facing, trying to frogger that together every day.
Yeah.
I've staff, and my staff are all great. I also had a staff in college, and I have to say, at least this time around, it's better because they're not 20 and ditching me for dinner to go blow some dude.
Yeah, that's good. Thank goodness. I'm glad to hear that.
Which was surprisingly a scenario that happened to me more than once in college.
More than once?
I would just be like hungry and they would text me being like, "Hey, I'm gonna hook up with this guy, so I'm not gonna come for dinner." And I'll be like, okay, I guess you're getting the only dinner out of the two of us.
Yeah.
I won't
You're like,
be
at
able to
least
eat.
somebody's
I
eating
know.
something.
Yeah.
So I would say, even though that's the onion, I would say the pearl is I've had the opportunity to meet so many people like you, Emma, and Robin, and everybody has just been so kind. And I remember thinking, like, well, when my mom dies, I'll just be alone and I won't have anyone because we were together all the time. But everyone has been so nice and so helpful. Even like down to the editor of my show, she also reached out to me. She's from TikTok. I couldn't do the show without her at all. The amount of random people who have been willing to walk, to donate, to
That's
to
amazing.
just,
Who's I don't want to, offend anybody, but who's your favorite that you've walked?
ah, that's like picking a favorite child.
Can we do a Mount Rushmore of walks?
Probably, I would say Grayson Hoso was one of my favorite. He just has a great chemistry, and he's an environmental engineer. So
Really?
I respect him because he's multi-talented. He's a social media starlet, but he also has an adult job, which is rare to find in the
Yes.
influencer world. Usually people are like hawking, I don't know, like period underwear. Not that period underwear aren't valuable, but like
Very.
Very valuable.
yeah, but I don't know. So I just found him to be a really interesting mix of things. And then Baby No Money was also super, super nice.
Yeah, how did that come to be?
So see, the problem is celebrities have to stop rewarding me for making jokes about pegging them or getting paid by them. Because whenever I'm bored, I make a video about wanting to peg a celebrity or get pegged by them, and they always respond and follow me back. And I'm like, you've got to stop rewarding this behavior. So essentially, I made a video that was like, I'm not going to let my disability stop me. I will peg Baby No Money. And he thought it was hilarious. So I connected with his team, and it turned out like a week later he was coming through Philly. So he was super nice, and he spent like 2 hours with us before his concert. So beyond just crawling on the floor, he also hung out with us, and like it was a really cool experience.
That is
And
so cool.
and
Very cool.
and one that I hope to repeat with multiple people, because I'm planning a trip to LA this July to try to like back to back a bunch of people, because I feel like all
You could walk them in a human centipede.
human centipede, that's a different side of LA. But don't give away my Saturday night plans, Emma. That's rude. It was an invite-only party, okay? You can't broadcast
All
it
right,
like that.
sorry.
So, so yeah, I can't wait to go to LA this summer because I'm gonna try to do a bunch of different walks. I also got to walk David Cross. He was really cool. Do you guys know David Cross from Arrested Development?
Yes, that one when
I love Arrested
when
Development.
I saw you walking him, I was like, that is literally Sam, my brother, sent it to me. It was like, this is so cool.
I also Mae Whitman and for the OGs is on my list too.
Yes.
I would love to walk Mae Whitman.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like she would be down.
Oh, hell yeah. And Michael Cera, too. I feel like he's awkward enough to be motivated. He was my first live action crush, Michael Cera.
Wow.
You know, I don't think he was a crush of mine, but I did go see Juno in theaters with my dad and probably like in 3rd grade. And it's like the first scene, they're having sex on the couch, and it's like the two of us are just sitting there, and like I don't really know what's going on, but
I guess that's why I didn't
can
have to
imagine-
give you any sex education.
No sex talk. I can imagine how
Because-
my dad like felt sitting there next to me watching this scene in the beginning of Juno.
Yeah, and I didn't know that happened, or I would have been a little
You would have
upset
been
with
there.
him. Yeah, I would have been there.
Juno really should have told me a little bit of rainbow about myself because I've had a crush on Elliot Page for years. Years.
You're like, I like
Since-
both Michael Cera and Elliot Page.
Yeah, since Juno, but if you think that's bad, one time I used to write film. Also, I've been a troll since the beginning because I remember when I was 11th and in 5th grade sex ed, my mom was like, "Oh, well, do you have any questions you want to ask us about sex?" And I looked at her and I said, "No, I watched Seinfeld." And she just started laughing because I did watch Seinfeld with them. But don't worry, I'll do you one better. So I used to write film reviews. So all the movies I was going to review, my mom would be my +1 to all the movies. But I did not read the synopsis, and one of the movies I took her to was Don Juan, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a chronic masturbator and a sex addict. So it was like 18 million scenes of Joseph Gordon-Levitt masturbating. And
Yes.
Did you see that, Emma?
I feel like I watched it with you.
Oh,
I feel like we might have just blacked it out, but I feel like I definitely remember sitting at home watching it with you.
Who's the hot redhead that he hooked up with at the end? Julian somebody.
Oh my God.
She's
Julia Moore.
I'm looking it up.
but
This is why I have this.
I like that the end that which actress was it?
Emma's looking it up.
I think it was Julianne Moore.
Well, I just went with the hair color.
Yeah.
So you love movies.
Yeah.
I love movies.
I went to college for film.
Oh, did you?
Julianne Moore, yeah.
Thank you, everybody, that I got that.
Wow. Good job. You want a prize?
Yes.
I really enjoyed that the moral of that movie was you don't have to go to therapy or confront any of your problems. Just fuck Julianne Moore. 'Cause I was like, I'm trying. That seems like way better than therapy. But I'm sorry. What did you just say? Before that, I got sidetracked by Julianne Moore.
I have absolutely no idea.
I said I love movies. I said, did you love movies? You said you majored in film, which I was super impressed with.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Thank you for distracting me from my Julianne Moore haze. I went to college for film, and it was more analytical. So a lot of people I went to school with were disappointed because they wanted to be directors, so they wanted more practical experience. But I was such a little nerd. I loved it. All I did was write papers analyzing movies, and then my minor was LGBT studies. So I tell people for my degree for $50,000 a year out of state, I watched movies with gay people, but I had a great time.
I majored in gay film.
Yeah, basically. But it was a great experience. I went to Berkeley, so shout out Bay Area.
Oh, you did go to Berkeley.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That was also my trial run for my mom dying because I'm from Pennsylvania, so I moved all the way across the country at 18, not knowing anyone. I had some relatives that were like an hour away.
That takes some guts.
Emma couldn't do that.
I could not do that.
Emma went 1 hour away.
Too far.
Too far. I was there every weekend.
I know my sister used to talk to my mom on the phone for like 3 hours a day, and she would call back and I'd be like, Alex, you literally just called. What could you possibly have to say? But she loved my mom. But yeah, so my mom was still teaching full time when I went to school, and I went to California and I didn't have any staff and I didn't know anybody. And because at the time, Berkeley had the Disabled Students Residence Program, RIP, it was a victim to budget. But at the time, they were one of the only programs in the country where they provided some caregiving support to help students learn how to live independently, because they knew that most of us had only been taken care of
Yeah.
by our parents, which for all of us was true. But they recommended that we move in the dorms a week early. So when my parents left, I was terrified because I was sleeping all alone on this dorm floor, totally by myself. I had my one friend who was also in the same program, and he was next to me, but it was just like we were in a dorm alone for like a week, and it was horrifying. And the day my mom left to cheer myself up, I put on this little nightgown that I bought to like feel pretty, and then the caregiver that night who took me to the bathroom, who was also coincidentally a 50-year-old man, he dunked my nightgown in the toilet after I peed, so that it had pee all over it, and I had to change, and I was like, I can't have anything, nothing is joyful. And it was, yeah, so that, other than this year, that year, my freshman year of college was the hardest year of my life, because I had to hire staff, and I was hiring other college students. So they were all
out blowing guys instead of coming to dinner.
Yeah, so they were all like 19 and unreliable. And I had never, like, I'd been away from home for summer camp, but that was like an hour away. Like, I had never lived anywhere else, and it was really a trial by fire. But yeah, I worked it out, and I graduated in 3 years.
From Berkeley?
Yeah, and
that is fantastic.
And I had a 3.9, and I was Phi Beta Kappa and everything, which I list all those
smarty.
credentials to make my
I know, right?
I list all those credentials to make my dad feel validated and paying the massive bill. But yeah, so I got out, but it was hard.
Yeah, I bet.
Like before this year, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. It was really rough.
But you got through it.
Yeah, it showed me that I have tenacity.
You
That's
do.
right.
You have a lot of that.
That's right.
And
Did you want to? I don't want to forget about.
We're not going to forget about it. I'm just about to do it right now.
Okay.
All right.
I see.
Do you see?
Are you going to address the elephant in the room?
We're going to address the elephant in the room. So one thing we like to do on our pod is honor people that we have lost. And you said that you and your mom, Patti, loved s'mores Pop-Tarts.
Yes, we did. So my mom was an 8th grade American history teacher. She loved American history. But in the morning, because she also had to get me ready, so our morning routine was twice as long. So a lot of times she didn't have time for breakfast, so we would just eat those s'mores Pop-Tarts. And then when I was in middle school, we were the same school, so literally she was my teacher in 8th grade too, actually. She was my history teacher. But middle school was great because I spent the whole school day just running up to her, and she would always have in her room, she would always have s'mores Pop-Tarts in her desk.
Oh.
So she would always give me one when I came to visit during the day.
Well, we've got them for you. We like to throw food here. Here, Erin, have some Pop-Tarts. Have Pop-Tarts, everybody.
Yay!
We've got s'mores Pop-Tarts, and we like to close out the episode with Robin's words of wisdom. Anything that you've come
hit
up
us,
with.
Robin. I
Hit
need
us,
wisdom.
hit us with the wisdom.
Oh, here it is. I think you might like this.
Okay.
And this really helped me. And I still do this, but now it's getting so much. Do at least one good thing for yourself a day. And I do this, and I even say, like, flossing my teeth. I floss my teeth. Oh my gosh, I did something good today. I make my dentist appointment. I went out and walked 3 miles this morning. Do something good for yourself every day. Today you're wearing this beautiful dress and seeing us. Isn't this something nice to do for ourselves today? It's making me happy.
Yeah, I agree. And thank you for the advice. That won't be hard for me to incorporate because, as luck would have it, I'm obsessed with myself.
Well, then it's perfect. Me too.
Yeah.
Then it's perfect. Be obsessed with yourself, everybody. It
Yes,
helps.
It really helps.
Thank you, Erin, so much for coming on the podcast. We have loved talking
This
with you.
was so joyful. I've never been so enthusiastic talking about dead people before.
And see, I told everybody, I said we're going to laugh. We might cry. We'll do both. We did both. Accomplished it all. Checked it off for our day.
And I think that our viewers get something out of hearing how we deal with all this, because everyone has stuff to deal with, right?
Yeah, everybody has a different problem, but it's not a competition. It's a collective marathon, so we can all help each other and make sure we don't shit our pants.
Yes, that's what
Don't
I'm
shit your
trying to
pants.
avoid.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time on Laughs After Loss.